just a bomb with a flick of my wrist. Jersey on my chest, that's a team that I rep. Came in as a rookie, now I'm ballin' like a vet. If you talking crazy, better say it with your chest. Hit him with the right, then I hit him with the left. Ooh, ooh, then the juke move. Heisman, stiff arm, lights out, you snooze. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic. This is not a game, this is not a game. Banging on your chest when I come through the paint. Never been about the money or the fame. But when it bring both, so here we go again. Wins on the road, yeah, I got those. Couple records that I hold, yeah, I got those. It's the playoffs, the team just got home. We ain't going outside when it matter most. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic.
Why would I ever have to cop a chain?
This place first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Cleveland Browns and the Green Bay Packers. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Rodgers going to come out throwing.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown.
Now Cade York for the extra point.
It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line.
4-4 their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be, because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we wonder just how good is this team? They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
The Packers at 500 now, 4-4 on the year, and they come in off the extended break from the bye.
And I think it was much needed as well, because you play 2.5 months you know you're ready for some time off in order to get prepared for the home stretch. In fact, when they looked at the schedule to start the season, I think they liked where their open week fell.
From the 41, Rodgers. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. And now, Charles, they're working with a short field, a chance to make this a two-score game, and these guys haven't even worked into a lather yet here in the first quarter.
Yeah, how about that? You score, you take it away, get an excellent return, and now you've got a chance to go up 2 scores.
Touchdown, Browns! Amari Cooper, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by York is up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they were winners the last time they took the field, which was 2 weeks ago. They had the open week last week, so this is a squad that should be really refreshed and ready to roll.
I would agree, because when you get that open week after a victory, it does wonders for everyone. Obviously, your body, get a chance to heal up, but your mind as well. You feel good about winning, so now you can get away from it for a few days, put down the playbook, turn off the film. Just be you. Enjoy that time away, and then you come back ready to go.
So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. Man open, it's Kupp. He's got it. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. This one swung out here to Jones. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 27. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. He's at the 40, 20, 10, and he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for a Browns TD. Well, Charles, not only did they fumble the football, but they're starting to fumble away their chances here a little bit. We've got a 3-score ball game now here in the first half.
And the last thing you want to do, partner, is help the other team with what are avoidable turnovers. You want to hang on to the football because you're already playing against a good team. You're just making it easier for them by giving them extra opportunities.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here, because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
On first down, Rodgers. He's got a man, complete. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
He'll buy some time right. And he fires one that's intercepted. And the Browns are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
On 2nd and 15 now. Watson. That's out to Chubb, complete. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Well, they showed a 5-receiver set, had the backfield empty, and lined the running back out to the left. Plenty for the quarterback to process both pre- and post-snap, but he was able to find his man, and it turns into a big play.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. 2 first-quarter touchdown passes now for Deshaun Watson, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Extra point by York is up and good. And the rout is on here in this first half. So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls at work. Now they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Rodgers now on first down. Forced out to his left. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now second down. Here now is 2nd and 10. Again from the 41. Throwing now is Rodgers. And that's caught inside the 30. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far. And never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
And again, it's Rodgers. He finds his man, complete. That's Schmidt. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. Throwing again on second down. Rodgers. That is caught by Amari Rodgers.
Rodgers. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Rodgers taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Packers are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
I'm not sure that they have illusions right now of, okay, we're going to score 8 times in a row and we're going to be terrific. But to get one, that was huge for them. That has to feel much better right now.
And you do have, we're still in the first half. You do have the entire second half. There's something about that goose egg that just looked bad on that board, but now they've broken it.
Yeah, broken through.
And Rodgers intercepted a third time. Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And the Packers are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. Well, it is still a lopsided score, so they're going to try a second quarter onside kick. And they've got it. They recovered it. But hang on now, though. There's a penalty flag down. Well, CD, you understand. I mean, they're so eager trying to get back in this game here in the fourth quarter, but they touched that one a little too early before it went 10 yards.
Brandon, in such a high-stakes scenario, everyone's feeling the pressure on this play. The special teams coordinator, which one is he going to pick in terms of kicks? Can the kicker execute it? Can the team wait for 10 yards? So many variables, and in this case, they didn't get it done. I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Over the middle, that's caught by Schwartz. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Mike 13. Yeah, let's go Savage. Mike 13. He's coming. Check in.
Back to throw, Watson. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown. Boy, a big play right there. I mean, a touchdown on this drive could have really put some separation on the scoreboard. Instead, it's the defense who scores. And, partner, we got a game again.
And we do have one because of what you just described. A defense that understood what was going on in this game and did something about it. They knew their offense needed some help. They just provided it. They're back in this one.
So the Packer offense coming on. They'll be asked to go for 2. They're going to run for it with Jones. And he's going to get in for the score. And the lead now cut to 14. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Taking it about the 1. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Browns drive about to get started. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown. But Charles, you can just see the frustration on the sideline. Safe to say that's not how they expected this series to go. The ball only went one way, and it was backward into their own end zone, courtesy of the pick six.
And, Brandon, how often do we hear offenses tell us before a game they want to end every series with a kick, right? A punt, a PAT, or a field goal. In the case of a defense, they want it in with a punt or a takeaway. And we saw the takeaway right there, and it turned out to be a takeaway that turned into 6 points.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
The Browns drive about to get started. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They run it again with Chubb. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Perfect example of the kind of attitude you have to play defensive back in the NFL. You want to be the only defender around, and you want them to challenge you. And on that play, he came through.
On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Back near the goal line. Here's Rodgers. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. Well, they were obviously backed up. Had a little bit of space from the goal line, snapping it from the 3, but still trying to throw it. And
yeah, exactly. This is where hindsight is 20/20 comes into play, right? Seems like a good idea to throw the ball there. Maybe you'll surprise them and catch them off guard. Instead, you created a turnover and put your defense in a bad spot.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Amari Cooper with career touchdown number 60. And the Browns have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Extra point by York is up and good. And the lead now up to 14. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Rodgers. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. It'll be a loss of only a couple on the sack, but now it'll bring up 3rd down. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out, because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance, they've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. He finds his receiver, Watson. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout. as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
To punt on 4th down, here's Rigoberto Sanchez. Here comes the pressure, and the Browns block it. And that pressure there came from his left side. Maybe could have sped up the release, but he couldn't get it off in time.
And truthfully, the speed should be consistent each and every time. It should be quick mechanics. The best punters are the ones who can catch it, one step, and get rid of the football. Those are the ones you want. Anything more than...
And now Watson throws another interception. Picked off by Eric Stokes. The 40. Past the 20.
Boy, you ain't got no feet.
And into the end zone. It's a pick-6 and a Packer touchdown. You think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead? Not so fast. That pick-6 really changes the complexion. Probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now. Probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
Extra point up and good by Folk. And that cut the lead down to a touchdown. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The Browns drive about to get started. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. And we'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. Mike 13, Mike 13.
Here's Watson. And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A good pick up there of 20 yards. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now it's Watson. He's got a man, complete. A big play there just before halftime. 53 yards. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. And the ball smacked down on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Remember, as they try to run the ball down here, Charles, this is the #2 rush defense in the league.
So do you accept the challenge up front? Do you get your offensive line together, get your tight end in the ball game and say, I don't care that they're #2. Let's go ahead and show them that we can run the ball anyway? Or do you do the best thing and throw the darn thing and try and get in the end zone?
Maybe that's wiser. Now Watson on 3rd and goal. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
Nice call by the defense there on 3rd down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
York able to send this one through. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. The Browns drive about to get started. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
yeah, they went into the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Throwing again is Watson. Dancing to his left. Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a third down.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on first and second down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw is Watson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown. So that potentially a turning point here this third quarter. A 2-score lead down to 1 now following the pick six.
And that had to be the message at halftime for this defense. Delivered and accepted. We need to go out there and make something happen.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. A fairly short kick from the 14. And a pretty slick return there. Almost got it to the 45. Officially, they'll call him down at the 44.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
The Browns drive about to get started. Fresh off the pick six, it's Watson. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. A big play that time for Cleveland. 54 yards.
We see this happen so often. If you're a defender, it's like watching a bad movie over and over. The pressure's good, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. But it's a lot to ask for these defenders to stay plastered to receivers long enough. And sure enough, they let a man come open, and the connection leads to a big play.
Chubb is in. Touchdown, Cleveland. So the first drive ended in 3. This time they take it down and punch it in the end zone.
So that first drive felt like they were just gathering knowledge, didn't it? Just enough to kick the field goal on the first one. And the second time, they put it all together and got it all the way to the end zone.
Extra point by York is up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. offense ready to get their next drive underway. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
On the move to his left. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down. And don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
From just shy of midfield, Rodgers being chased out left. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him to first. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 46. Now it's Rodgers. Now the ball comes loose, and this is picked up by the Browns. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. A disappointing end of the sequence there. He was starting to turn nothing into something, and then he lost the football.
And sometimes things get lost in the transition. And what I mean by that is you go from being a passer to a runner. And at a certain point, once you cross the line of scrimmage, you're strictly a runner now. There's no more downfield threat. Make sure you take care of the football while you're traversing downfield.
And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Watson, a little touch pass on the jet sweep. Trying to get out wide, but he's going to be tackled right near the line of scrimmage.
That was a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
And let's see, the Packers defensively 6 DBs, so a dime look on third.
Could play coverage or bring pressure.
Watson now to throw. And this will be incomplete. Boy, can you believe this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's 4th down. The Browns send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 14. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Right now, they're in a bit of a tough spot here, CD. You trail them by double digits. Remember the last time out, they fumbled. They're going to have to play some clean football here on this possession.
And all the talk on their sideline has been about taking care of the football, making sure that they're handling the ball correctly. So you know they'll be squeezing the rock pretty tight here. They just have to be careful not to go so hard in doing that they actually cause themselves other problems. Take care of the ball, but still try and play free and natural.
Well, that gives them a little room, but not much. A gain of 2 to the 5.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
49.
They'll send Rodgers in motion right. And they will not get the snap off here. This is going to back them up halfway. They were already backed up. Now they're backed up further.
I think they were being so careful to make sure all assignments were covered that they ended up running themselves out of time.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. They'll send Rodgers in motion right. From his end zone, it's Rodgers on 3rd and long. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown.
That offense trying to erase that deficit, get a little bit closer here, and climb back into this game in the 3rd quarter. Instead, they further their disadvantage, Charles, with a pick 6.
And that defense came out willing to do anything necessary to defend that lead. I think they looked around the huddle and said, who's going to make the big play? Who's it going to be? And the person just ended up in the end zone with the football. He was the one that answered the bell.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Green Bay, Wisconsin is the spot. 3rd quarter inside Lambeau. Glad you're with us. 2nd and 10. That's complete to Dobbs.
Oh, what a juke into space. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Rodgers now on 1st down.
Throwing left side, and Watson has it. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Rodgers again now.
Open man right side is Cup, complete. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Rodgers now to throw. Buying time to his left. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel...
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Myles Garrett, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. And now here is another interception.
picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys have been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along, but if you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
Now a throw here to his running back. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And he will find his man Schwartz. That's complete. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Off of play action, it's Watson. He's going to wind up and air it out. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. To throw is Rodgers. Steps away to his left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down.
50 seconds to Mike. 50 seconds to Mike. I got one. 50 seconds to Mike. 50 seconds.
Rodgers going to throw. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Now Rodgers, gotta have this one. Flushed out right, and it's going to be batted down, and will go the other way with the football. The Packers unable to pick up the first, and the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. They run again on 1st down, Chubb. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Watson off play action. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long after that sack. What does Watson have in his arsenal? He'll drop to throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. Well, that was a long attempt to begin with, so the fake you might have known was somewhat of a possibility. Credit to the defense, though. They weren't fooled.
You're right, they weren't fooled, and they were in a position of having to play it both ways. Guard for the fake, but you still want to rush the kicker because it was a makeable kick. So they ended up getting the best out of the whole thing. Stuffed the fake, and they take over the ball.
17 yards on the play as they try to eat into this 17-point deficit. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
57 to Mike. Over.
Now Rodgers. He'll get this one to Cup, complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Sliding out of the pocket. And it's a Packers touchdown. Christian Watson. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Packers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
And he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Oh, they'll mark him inside the 1. He just couldn't keep churning those extra few inches. And the 2-point attempt is turned aside. Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided. Rashawn Gary, the man to bring him down. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball and continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Right from the man.
After the run, Watson going to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. How about that for a call? Leading in the second half, fake punt, but this one's going to work against them.
And, partner, I love a fake punt as much as anyone. In fact, I might love it more than other people, but in this case, probably a step too far because not only does it not work, but look at the field position they gave up after the attempt. With how the coverage was positioned, up was about the only spot the quarterback had to try and deliver that pass. Just put a little too much height on it. Incomplete.
Eluding the pressure. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Browns are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers come up with a late turnover